So what are you guys?
We're the Smartwood family.
Hi guys, we had a question from a student who was actually asking about this property, which is, say you have log, I don't know, base 10 of 3. That apparently the teacher said you could write this as natural log of 3 over natural log of 10. Okay? And they said that they understood, they can memorize the formula, but they want some intuition behind this. Really, we can unpack this because this is really just by virtue of the definition of log, and we could do it in general too. Okay? So let me first try to make this concrete. What log of this 3 is? So log base 10 of 3 is literally the exponent you have to place on 10 to get the number 3. Okay? So remember that when we look at this property, this value here is really just that exponent. All right, no big deal. But now let's write out what log of 3 is. Log of 3, well, natural log of 3, is e to what power, let's call it triangle, gives you 3. So remember, this whole thing is just this triangle. Okay? All right, and this guy, log of 10, that's e to, we're running out of shapes here. E to what power gives you 10. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to find some sort of relationship here. And we notice here that e to the heart is 10, right? So this whole thing is 10. So I'm just going to come back here and write this as e to the heart, which is 10, right? By our setup here, raised to the square is going to be 3. Okay, so far so good. You know that when you raise this guy to a power, you're going to multiply the exponents. So it's e to the heart times square is equal to 3. So we've used this guy and this guy. But now look at this thing. 3 is e to the triangle. So I'm going to write that here, e to the triangle. Okay? And it's not that unbelievable that since the bases are the same, the exponents here must be the same. But these exponents are just numbers. So what we're really saying is this guy on the left is equal to that guy on the right. Okay, so in symbols, that would be heart times square is equal to triangle. Literally like that. Remember, these are just numbers. Okay, so let's unpack what this thing says. Well, first, what I wanted was this guy, and I'm sorry I erased it, but if you remember this, we call this guy the square. Okay? All right, so I want to solve for this square. So we're going to get square is equal to triangle divided by heart. That's all that is, right? The square, just scroll back to the video. Sorry, I shouldn't have erased it. But the square here is going to be actually log 10 of 3. That was the square, right? The triangle we wrote as natural log of 3, right? And the heart, which is the one on the bottom right over here that I erased, my bad again, is log of 10. So literally, just following this picture, we understand intuitively why this rule works. Okay, since I felt it was kind of lame to end on that thing where I erased the board, I put it all back up here and we can see exactly what we did one more time. Log base 10 of 3 is the exponent you need on 10 to get 3. And the natural log of 3 is the power you need on e to get 3. And the natural log of 10 is the power you need on e to get 10. Okay, so every one of these guys here represents one of those guys up there. Okay, but now we're just going to do a substitution. So we agree that this right here, right, is equal to 10. So I'm going to come back up into this equation and have 10 and have e to the heart, right? Because that's what 10 is. So 10 raised to the square is 3. So raised to the square. So e to the heart, which is 10, raised to the square is 3. That's just reiterating this sentence right here, this statement. Okay? All right, so now we have this set up. So it's e to the heart, which is 10, raised to the square. So when you take e to the heart raised to the square, you just multiply here. So you get e to the heart times square is equal to 3, but 3 is e to the triangle. And since the bases are the same, right, these guys must be the same. Okay, but heart times square is triangle. Okay, no big deal. Heart times square is triangle, no big deal, right? But what do we want? We want a log base 10 of 3, and that's what we called square. Okay, so we're going to solve for square. So square is equal to triangle over heart. Now we just unpack these definitions again. Square was log base 10 of 3. Okay, so we'll just write that. Log base 10 of 3 is the square. Okay, but that's equal to triangle. What was the triangle defined as? The triangle is defined as the power you raise e to get 3. That is the natural log of 3. So that's going to be natural log of 3. Divided by heart. But what's heart? Heart is literally the power you raise e to get 10. That's called the natural log of 10. And that's exactly what we wanted to show. Okay? So what about in general? Well, in general, if you follow this pattern, log to any base, let's say a, of some number b, right? So log to any base a of b is going to be the natural log of b divided by the natural log of a. So in some sense, these logs are all interchangeable, okay? And I chose natural log because it's so nice, but honestly, it didn't matter what base we used. So in general, you can always write it like this. Log of a to the b is log of, let's say, c to the b divided by log c of a, okay? You could do that in general. It didn't have to be the natural log, okay? But that also